Once you gone and you get sentenced to 3,695,242 years, like as soon as they hit you with a sentence like that, why they so mad? Cause they see me on the come up, I'm just getting started, I didn't even get in my bag. Man, I won't think with you niggas, but y'all steady hating, don't talk about popping no tags. I spin the block cause I'm paid. In today's news, just more dustiness. I got this from a friend who hit me yesterday and told me to tune in because there was a dude going around just losing his noodle in Memphis. And I came across it. And I think Officer Tatum did a great job at speaking on this. So I'm a rather react to what he says, because if I strictly react to the situation, I'm going to say some shit that I'm going to regret. So I'm not even going to go there with it. I'll allow the good brother to speak. You know, as usual, we ain't going to waste no time. Like, subscribe, comment, get these numbers up. Let's go.
The Officer Tatum show and podcast. Brandon, you're seeing this play out tonight, including on Facebook Live. Your reaction to what you're seeing so far?
Laura, this was horrifying. I could not believe my eyes that this young man was on camera with such a depraved mind to go and shoot innocent people that want to broadcast it. You know, I see that we have a criminal justice system that's flawed, and we are in trouble if we don't do something about this.
You know what? I'm going to agree with that. But I'm going to take it a step further. What is it with this going live thing and doing the most reckless behavior that we can possibly find? Like, what is it about the internet that is causing these kids to crash out like this? At what point will we accept that the internet is doing our children a huge disservice? A huge disservice. I think we're giving it to them way too quickly, and I don't think some kids deserve to have them at all, especially when you're exhibiting these kind of behavior. And people will be like, well, how do you stop the kids? Well, how do you stop? I've never heard my mother say no shit like that. I've never heard my grandmother wonder how you stop the children from doing something. I never heard those terms from the older generation. It's this new generation of parents that want to be friends with their kids and they don't want their kids to not like them and all of that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Look where it's gotten us. My job is not to be your friend. My job is to be your parent. My job is to make sure that you carry on, that you can live a long and prosperous life, that you're not creating genocide throughout the community on your own goddamn people in your own goddamn areas, making it so unsafe for investors that people behind you can't get no jobs because investors won't invest into the area to create an infrastructure. Like, I don't want to create those children. That'll be one of the biggest embarrassments of my life. So to hell with the police force. We need to find out what it is about Facebook Live and Instagram Live that make these kids want to behave like this, because it has to be something.
This guy had charges that should have had him in prison for a very long time if our system would work like it's supposed to. Instead, he gets a slap on the wrist, he gets out of prison, and he goes on a murdering spree. I hope that we learn. And the funny thing is, and let me not say that it's funny, but the ironic thing is that now people want to support the police. They want the police involved because they're going to need the police to go and catch this guy and put it and bring him to justice before he kills more people.
Brandon, we've seen this before where these kids want their moment of glory. They're online. You see him here, and he considers himself, you know, a celebrity, I guess. And this is what,
again, they'll take the fame for anything. To hell with how dusty it is. To hell with all of that. Like, they'll just take the fame over anything, not even knowing that most times you people get forgotten about. You get forgotten about. You might pop up on an episode here and there of like some criminal shit. You might pop up on a channel that niggas don't even watch. Like niggas don't even remember the active shooters in their own hood once they gone. Once you gone and you get sentenced to 3,695,242 years, like as soon as they hit you with a sentence like that, what got me mad is the police any other time. Again, I'm going to say some shit that y'all not going to like, so I hope y'all brace for impact. The police any other time can make excuses about feeling threatened for their life. They can make excuses about, I thought he had a weapon, and then somehow they're able to arrest these kind of guys. I think when people create heinous crimes like this, when they commit heinous crimes like this, I think the proper thing to do is to leave them where you find them. You guys can decipher that message yourself. He reached for his phone. I thought it was a weapon. I unloaded 87 shots. I thought it was a weapon. We saw what he just did. There's no reason that my tax money has to go to making sure that he stays alive until he passes away in prison. That's trash. If y'all gonna use any other time to want to unload 100 shots at an unarmed man, I think these would be the situations where no one would complain or protest. Facts.
Where it takes us. We're looking at it right now. Brandon, your reaction to that aspect of it and how that affects how this thing is, obviously amplified and played out.
Well, I'll say we can start from the very beginning. I would almost imagine that young man don't have a father. He don't have a structure.
No.
When you don't have a father in your house and you don't have a male role model, you begin to become lost. And when you're lost, you're looking for support and you're looking for, I would say, glorification from other people.
But you'll do it by any means necessary, and you will receive that love from any means necessary. This is what I mean, fathers. You dudes be thinking that I just be hard on y'all for no ass reason. When you create a family and you're not there to raise the young boys that grow up in that family, you create this. You create this. This is the kind of situations that we got to deal with. You got the OG dude on there whose son just got 20 years, and from what I hear, the rest of his sons is in prison for damn near life as well. After the father did almost 30 years. And he's sitting there talking about he did the best job he could as a father and he was a good father. Bruh, you was gone for 20 plus years. Creating these kind of kids out here. Because who they gonna cling to first? The people that show him the most love. Now, that might be the guy who asked him to bring that bag to the corner over there. That might be the guy that after he just aired the block out, tell him, yo, hide this in your room. That might be that guy. And these lawless children out here that have no fathers, they have no repercussions. The people that are behind them, the guys that are behind them are cheering them on, even the older ones. Even the older ones. And this is the repercussions. We got to do better.
And this young man is looking for acceptance and glorification by people and showing or proving that he's a. And I would argue that it's the music that he's listening to as well. This mimics a lot of gang violence that occurs in rap music. All of these societal things are corrupting our young people, and they are out here. They're lost. They need Jesus. And I'll say this just to close up my statement on this is that I wish that we had more young people with fathers. I believe that these things would not be happening the way that they're happening today.
Facts.
Some people just have to be locked up. Some people cannot be let loose on the street because this is the kind of thing that happens. I mean, only 3 years in jail for attempted murder, aggravated assault. 3 years? And he didn't even serve 3 years. Served 2 years.
Right, and I want people who say that jail ain't the answer, give me the answer. Because letting them out and allowing them to be into the public where they're killing people, and this is an example of somebody's killing another person, but they recidivate all the time. Most people get out of prison, they go back to prison. And I believe that we should do a better job at monitoring and also holding these people accountable, because when we don't, we see residual effects like this. The young man that went out and the lady who was jogging, the teacher, he did 20 years for doing almost the same thing that he did in this particular instance, where a woman ended up dead. At what point do we hold people accountable? At what point do we hold people behind bars and understand that locking them up and depriving them from being in the public is the best solution to the problem, because nothing is going to save them outside of a miracle from God. These people are depraved. They hate other people. They're lost, and they want. And if we don't hold them in prison and hold them accountable, that's exactly what they're going to do. And we're going to strain the demand on police and hope to God that they catch him sooner than later, or a citizen who has a gun can stop him in his tracks. If not, we're going to have a big problem with this person and copycats who want to follow suit.
And that's another thing. People, arm yourself. You guys aren't felons. You guys got clean records. Arm yourself. So when you are out in public and a crazy guy like this comes along, you will not be one of the victims right off on the news. You won't. And the jail thing is so hard for me to agree with. because I think there's times where they hold some of these young people entirely too long for small crimes. Like, I get it, he's one of the instances where attempted, deletion. And for the attempted deletion, he got 3 years, which is like crazy to me. Like, where I'm at, gun charges are mandatory 3 years. Yeah, you commit the charges that he got out for, you're gonna be doing roughly around 12 of them things. So that's not the case. I've seen people do minor burglaries on empty buildings at 17 years old and get 5 years. So it's kind of hard for me to agree with all of that, but I understand that he's a police officer, so he's gonna see things a bit differently. But he hit the nail on the head about fathers needing to be in the households. It's a game changing effect. I see it with my son all the time. I see it with my daughter all the time. It is a game changing effect to have the fathers around. That backbone, that structure, that children have this willingness to please the father. Like, they want to do everything to make their daddy proud. Like, they don't want to slip up. They don't want to mess up. They don't want to be yelled at by their father. They could take it from the mom a little more, but they don't like that shit coming from the fathers. So it keeps them in tip-top shape because they don't ever want to have to worry about getting into no problems with you as the father. And I'm telling you, it's vital that you guys stay around them. But we're going to keep going with the breaking news, man. It's been a lot going on. I got another story for you guys, so tune in. I'll be right back. Peace.